Alright, so didn't do any of this yesterday. Work's been a little whack the last day or two, so just not having quite so much energy, but I figured there's a saying, right? It's okay to go a day between, whatever, miss a day here and there if you're trying to do something like learn a skill or practice something like jumping rope or who knows, but um, you don't want to go more than 2 days or whatever. Otherwise, you'll start uh, falling out of the habit of it. Anyway, um, I've also just been a little bit discouraged because I'm not a huge fan of this level. I was like, I just wanted to make something super quick, just spend 5 minutes on it, and then code it, and then I can go back in and I can fix the level later. But that's just making me really not like it. So I think what I'm going to do is start over, give it another shot, spend maybe a few hours making the level look how I want it to look. And then, yeah, I think I'll like that better, and I think I'll be more motivated to actually do the thing. So, not that this is bad. It's just I I kind of like the idea of having a little bit of believability to like how the place looks, and this doesn't feel very. The idea is we're going to have like a little airfield, and that's the overworld will be you'll have a little airship, and you fly around to the different little sky islands, and something kind of like this, and that would probably make a good thumbnail though. Um, and so what I was originally set out to do was make a tutorial because the mechanics take a little bit of explanation, and I think it would be kind of discouraging and frustrating to throw a player straight into that with absolutely no instruction. At the same time, it's kind of fun to like explore and figure things out yourself too, but especially like the two-handed clicking and dragging mechanic where you hold a key to hold something in place and then use your other hand. I don't think anyone would figure that out unless you like give them a little tutorial. So that's the idea. We could literally throw them in like a series of rooms. It's just like a white room, and play an audio track and have some like text on the walls that's like, hey, whatever, do this and that. But again, that well, I mean that is fine. You could have it just be like, hey, well, this is the training range, whatever, here's the thing, and you don't have to open the tutorial if you don't want to. That's fine. I like that idea better than this idea. Because this just, part of me just goes like, I don't know, we're talking about a game where there's floating islands. Maybe I shouldn't be too worried about it, but this just doesn't feel very welcoming to me. There's no doors, there's no actual light, there's not a bathroom, there's whatever, there's no like stairs. I don't know, I don't like it. So I want to spruce it up a little bit, and so by the same token, I don't want to be swept away in the details, right? I don't want to sit here and spend a week making this level. Now, that's the other thought, too. I was thinking, I think I might make the tutorial be a level, and then you can just play the level through if you already know how to play, right? So, like, let's say you're whatever, you've played the game a few times, you could just play it like a normal level. But if you want the help, there'll be signs and buttons that you can hit, and if you click the button, it'll play an audio track, and it'll give you some tips or whatever. And I think that's a fine idea. And then that kind of raises the question too of, do I want like an introductory cutscene or something like that, and am I going to have any, like, character animations or yeah, like an intro cutscene. And I think I do still want to have an intro cutscene at some point. But that's not necessarily at odds with this. I could still have that and have a level where you're at the airfield where you kind of like start out. I think that's fine. So that's enough of just talking. Let me kind of just come up with an idea for how we want this map to look. So doodle a little bit here, and I am not deserving of having a fancy graphics tablet like this. This is a gift, so I may as well use it, even though I will not do it justice, I think. But here we are anyway. Let me see if I can fix my mapping. Wait, mapping. Yeah, see how it's going on across the whole screen? Let's just do monitor 1. Sweet. That is easy enough. There we go. It feels much better. Okay, so the first map that we did, the windmill. Oh no. Gonna have to fix my pen and touch settings here. I don't know why that would be left hand default. Can I just turn this off entirely? I don't know, we'll have to see. Oh, well here, maybe. Oh no, that's already the menu I was in. I've done this a long time ago, but I forget. That seems better. Alright, there we can draw. We don't have our like pressure set up in GIMP, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. GIMP isn't recognizing it. Maybe because I plugged it in after. Let's try just closing and reopening GIMP. Not a big deal. I'm not making a painting, so we don't need the pressure sensitivity necessarily, so I'm not going to spend too long on this. I'm more just kind of curious to see if I still remember. There we go. At one point in my past life, I knew which one of these I wanted to do. Window sounds fine. Maybe? Um, hmm. Maybe I wanted to say screen, not window. Isn't this fascinating? Isn't this riveting? Aren't you glad you're watching this screen? Oh, hey, it's Captain Furball. Oh, it's huge. Yes, huge. Uh, they are fancy. I would not have gotten myself a fancy tablet like this, but my parents got me one, so I've had it for a long, long time, and I don't use it as much as I should, so I figured I'd get it out. How has your day been, Captain Furball? Thanks for stopping by. Let's see. Yeah, I've got this setting wrong. Screen. Screen. There we go. I think that should fix it. We'll see. Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. Now we should have pressure. Yeah, now we're cooking with gas. All right, all right, all right. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Let's actually do something with it. So, um, how's that? Yeah, that's fine. So, the the map that we previously did, we had this little kind of starting area, right? And we put some like bushes around it, right? And then there was a path that kind of went down, and then it went around, and then up to the top of like a hill kind of thing over here. Not getting much done, just got my booster shot. That can sympathize. I agree. It knocked me out, so I just was like tired. It just wiped me out. Yeah, 100%. Did you get all the same kind, or did you mix and match? So that's not what I want. I want the eraser for the eraser. Funny how that works. And then let's just say, yeah, that's fine. We can even say dynamics off for the eraser and just have the eraser be full opaquency, because that'll make my life a little easier. So then there was a little car down here, and it looks actually exactly like that. And then there's a button, and the car kind of drives along here. And then we had some targets. There was a target here, target here, target here. And then there was a moving target here. And that was kind of cool. And then we had some targets and things. Here, does X still switch? It does. Look at me. I've done this before. Had to mix, yeah. Sinovac for first two, and then Pfizer for the booster. Yeah. I was similar. I switched, flip-flopped as well, and I read somewhere that'll hit you a little harder than if you got all the same one, but it gives you better immunity. Maybe? I don't know. I think it's a good thing to mix and match. So that's hopefully you feel better tomorrow. So we had this, and then this, and then this. And then this. So, Captain Furball, you were working on a Godot project too, and you were like breaking doors in, right? And then you were like, uh, you were like psychic throwing knives with like that kind of thing, and then you're hitting targets and stuff, right? Like, is that part of a larger project, like game that you're working on, or what's the end goal with those features? Oh, I did not mean to hit that button. I don't know what I just did. X. There we go. Okay, let's go here. And there's a couple more bushes over here. It doesn't really matter. And then there was a target way over here. And that was kind of the finish. Yay. And there's some trees, whatever, here and here and here. And I think that's it. Oh, there's a gate. My chat is a little slow. No worries. Have to drop the psychic knife and door bashing thing. I mean, nothing wrong with changing directions either. Meaning like not having time to work on the project, or you're going in a different direction with it. There's an arrow here. You shoot that way. And the whole thing's kind of like on a floaty island kind of deal. Great. So for the tutorial, that's not the base color I want, is it? How do I switch to the bucket? The bucket. What's your hotkey? Shift B. There we go. Nope. There we go. Different direction with it. Nice. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. I'm like maybe a little too low on my camera here, I suppose, huh? So let's see. So the map we just made last night for the airfield was like this, and then the airfield was like a square, and that was it. And my thinking was there you'd have a little blimpy thing in here that you'd get on at the end. It'll be something like a puzzle where you try to fit furnitures into a small area. Ah, that sounds cool. I would probably try that. Nice. That's an interesting hook. Almost like you've got a stairwell and you've got to get a dresser up and down it, and you got to go like, okay, it's not going to fit sideways, but if we rotate it 45 degrees this way and then like smoosh it around the corner, kind of Tetris it together, stack it on top of the couch sideways. So then nice. It does sound fun. And that's kind of the cool thing about like having a game that you're making as just kind of an idea, and then you can try out different things, as opposed to trying to make it super polished and spend 2 years on all the artwork, and then you figure out like, oh, this isn't actually the game I wanted to make, and you go, oh, shoot, now I'm kind of in a hole. I'll just learn stuff anyway, but based on real life experience, 100%, it can be a puzzle for sure. The couch behind me is kind of landlocked in this basement. It came with the house. I'm sure I could figure out a way to get it up the stairs, but it would be a little bit of a puzzle. So I was thinking there'd be like little zones here, and at each station it would just tell you something, and then at the end you'd shoot like one target, and then it's like, yay, there's a target. Maybe there's a wall right here, and then from where you start, and then there's one target. So, oop, well, that's fine. I didn't mean to do that, but the wall right here. Hit that target, and then it like opens up a little staircase right here, and then you can go down the stairs, and then you can go in the blimp, and then you're done. End of the level. It just seems very contrived to me. First game, it's not going to be too polished, right? And I think that's good. Like, I think there's nothing wrong with that. And um, for me at least, that can be a real like barrier to starting something because you'd be like, oh, it's gonna be trash. Why am I gonna try it, right? Um, Especially like I took a painting class in college, and that really I struggled with it because with acrylic paint, you kind of have to just go fast because it dries so quick. So if you want to like kind of blend stuff together, like you just have to send it. You just have to go yeet and just splash paint everywhere. If you try to go slowly and like be super detailed, then everything dries and you can't do any blending, and it just looks very like almost color by numbers. It just doesn't look like a painting, um, at least when I do it. So I was figured, I don't know. I had to tell myself I got to be. Uh, I'd rather mess it up just giving it a try than be too afraid to try and like kind of just be sitting there being like because that's what I would do otherwise. Anyway, I don't like this idea, so I'm switching it. This is my old idea. We're doing something else because this just doesn't seem very interesting. Like we're just going in a circle, and it doesn't seem very. It seems very contrived. It's like why what are we doing? So I like this one because we actually thought about it a little bit, and there's a little bit of a path, and whatever. So let's think of a slightly better version of this. So let's actually make it like a level that you can play that just happens to have little tutorials along the way if you need them, but you don't have to take the tutorials, right? So every level is going to be a little floating island, so that's fine. Um, so I like that. There's nothing wrong with that. Fail fast. Yep, 100%. No, not disturbing at all. I would not be having the motivation to do this if I wasn't like I'm gonna turn on a camera and like be like I have some accountability. I'm actually working acting on the thing. So I appreciate stopping in. Uh, but yeah, no, you're not stopping me in the slightest. Thanks for saying hi and watching. Um, so let's say we've got an island and we could kind of make it an interesting shape so they're all just not circles. So what if we have like kind of a cool I don't know, crescent shaped island kind of thing? So what if we do something like this? You. Sure. I want the there to be like a larger section of the deal. I did not pick true white for my background. Whoops, that's okay. What do you think? So we could do like a it's all just circles though. What if we do like a Sure, I'm down with that. Oh, that's gonna bug me. Let's fix that. Here, we're not too far along, huh? Let's actually pick white. There we go. Alright, so this is gonna be sharp at both ends, or sharp on one end and smooth on the other end. Or have like a larger. So what if there's like kind of a main island section? Alright, and then kind of a tail. What if it kind of goes like this? Okay, we're gonna have to work on our position of the things though. So kind of like almost like a drinking horn kind of situation like this. This looks mildly phallic. Let's maybe fix that, but that's fine. So, uh, eh, what if there's like another piece of the island, like another? Because we got floating island, so we may as well use that. So what if there's kind of like another piece out here that's floating? Something cool like this or whatever. Cool. All right. So have this be our air strip, and then let's have this be kind of a mountain kind of thing. So let's have some, like this would be a mountain peak kind of thing over here. And then let's say, where do we want the airstrip? Let's say kind of like out here. So I kind of want it like built into the mountain kind of thing. So let's say there's kind of like a mesa or a, what would you call that? I don't know. Yeah, there we go. Like a retaining wall almost kind of thing. So this is kind of a wall cut into the side of the mountain kind of thing. And here's like where the airships are. So wee airships. Nice little goldfish airships. Huh? Great. But then we even have some cool like like little turret situations down here or something like that'd be cool. And maybe some like towers somewhere. So this is the top of the mountain. Maybe there's like a lighthouse looking thing up here. So how do we want the player to play through this though? Because what's kind of the goal? We want a simple first level that is kind of interesting and they play through it, right? So, well, there could be like a path kind of around the mountain here, right? Maybe there's even like a little bridge down here. So we have a bridge. And maybe they start uh, hmm. Because what's kind of the premise here, right? The premise is it's just a fun, like, chill garden target puzzle that is set up in the mountains, and people just come here to have fun, and kind of like an archery range in the woods or something like that. There's no conflict, there's no crisis, um, whatever. So that's fine. So what if you just like uh, spawn in here? Oh, oh dear. Spawn in here and uh, kind of have a path. That goes this way. And we can have little interaction points. So right when you spawn, maybe, we'll have a... what's a color I haven't used yet, huh? Blue. Perfect. button. If you hit the button, it gives you, tutorial. Starts talking and playing. And we can have some enemies. I do want to add like little target robots. So we can do that. And at the very beginning, let's just have some really simple targets, like target, target, target. Little backstop. So you shoot those targets, and probably like right away we want to show that that will that can do stuff like unlock doors and stuff. So let's have just a gate, like something super simple. So maybe there's a fence or something that goes along here. Again, I'm not helping myself with the drawing here, but that's okay. We won't be seeing it in the game like a drawing. So there's a fence and there's a gate here. And shooting those targets will open the gate. Great. We could even have it just be one target will open the gate, just to make the player's life super simple. Like this is the first level. This is the tutorial, right? So they shoot that target, opens the gate. Maybe to make it interesting, we'll have it be that you could go one of two ways. So there's kind of a fork. I should have picked a different shape for the island. Oh well, it's fine. Here we are. And let's see. It could maybe be like a loop type thing. So it doesn't matter which way you go, but then there's maybe acorns, so we can have a little tutorial point right here. So this tutorial point will maybe say just how to shoot. Yeah, I'll need to fix that in some way. It'll look better when it's an island, okay? Let's see. So what we want to tell them at the very beginning is you hit tab for the gun controls. Shift to hold. And what else might be confusing the first time around? We'll just start with that. Those are kind of the big ones. Well, and then maybe we could say, well, I'm not going to tell them to hitting the target will open the door. We'll let them figure that out, right? I mean, it's pretty obvious, but if you give away the secret, then whatever, it's not as fun. So let's not mention that. And then what if we have like a gondola or something kind of interesting, going like up the mountain this way. So we have a little ski lift kind of looking thing right here, going up to here. Right. And there's little cars, and you can jump in them, and it's not going to move until they figure out some puzzle. But what do we want the puzzle to be? Because easy, we can just have them hit a target and turn it on. Whatever. Great. Okay. But what if we make it slightly more interesting than that? like, right, I mean, there's a game called Myst, right? If you've ever played Myst, where like there's really cool puzzles, you know? Um, or something like Zelda or Tomb Raider or whatever, and I want a little bit of those types of elements, right? You know, where it just throws you in here, right? You have no idea what any of these knobs and levers do, right? And you just have to figure it out. And that's kind of the kind of idea, but this game Myst is hard. Myst is like these puzzles are difficult, so we're not looking to hit like that level of challenging. But so like for example, um, we could, and we can do kind of interesting things with, so like a Zelda or something will uh, have things that you have to shoot with your bow, like the little light bulbs, right? The little diamond-shaped crystals that you need to shoot with your arrow, and then it'll turn on and it goes do 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 do, and then it whatever, DMCA, and then uh, certain pieces move in the puzzle, and then stuff works. Um, with kind of a realistic shooter, we have bullet drop already programmed, and we have um, yeah, projectile bullets already programmed, which is pretty cool. So we can do some neat things like uh, you can shoot through something, or so we could have puzzles around that. Um, we could have something as simple as just Shift B. Oh, that did not do what I wanted it to do. There we go. Ta-da! Hey, um, like having a windmill, right? Where there's whatever, it's got blades of the windmill going, and there's a target behind that, and you have to hit the target to advance, and the windmill is turning, right? So you have to like time your shot or something like that. Like nothing fancy, but actually this not Breath of the Wild. Yeah, this one, Ocarina of Time.
You booked.
Gotta love advertisements.
Hi everyone. This
Oh yeah, and then have the targets be moving. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Um, but we don't need the music. But uh, this little mini game that's in Zelda, like, is super fun. Like, uh, I like played this for a long time as a kid, and this kind of mechanic is like a solid mechanic, like. Because it would let you play it over again, and it would tell you a score, right? So see that it's giving you scores. The closer you get to the center, the better of a score it's giving you. And you would finish playing it and be left going, "Oh man, I could have gotten a better score, right? Or I could have um, gotten a better time, or what have you." Um, and it's super simple. It's really easy to understand it. but it's a lot of fun. So we could even have a special kind of target that is the closer you hit to the center, the higher of a score you get. Um, maybe. I don't know. That would be maybe in the next version of the game. Let's not get too far afield. But uh, moving targets, moving and shooting at targets, and also simple-ish puzzles, right? Where like, so maybe something like this. This is really obviously like the way to go up the hill. Like you're going, okay, I know I have to get this thing working, right? So we can make it a little bit hidden. We can make it a little bit tricky for as to how you actually turn this thing on, right? So it could be something as simple as we have some little like drone targets. So we could have little like drone looking guys that are kind of flying in a circle around here. And maybe again to keep it easy, like this is the first level, maybe he's only a single target, right? And he's got a target plate. Oops, that's kind of hanging on the drone. So kind of something like this, right? Like he's got a target, and then he's a little drone guy. And I've thought about this a lot. I don't know if we wanted to penalize the players for hitting the drones or reward the players from hitting the drones. I think it'd be a much more satisfying game if you get rewarded for hitting the drone, if it's like a smaller target. You know? Like the drone's here. It's got a target kind of dangling from it, right? And then he's just flying around. And then if you hit him, it turns on the thing. But what if it turns it on for like 10 seconds, right? Or 30 seconds, and then there's another drone guy over here. So you kind of need to keep hitting him. So maybe there's one over here, kind of going back and forth. And if you hit the target, it pushes this along a certain amount, right? I like that. We don't need to... If they hit the drone and not the target. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, exactly. We could do it one of two ways. We could discourage them from hitting the drone, and if they hit the drone, it like starts the level over, and it like plays a voice line, like, hey, careful, don't hurt the course for other people or whatever. Or it might be more fun if the drone is a harder target to hit. Let's say the target's kind of big relative to the drone, right? And if they hit the drone, it's a harder shot, especially side on. Drone from the side is kind of like this. The target's big like this. So if they hit the drone, great, sure. We could play kind of like a fun animation where it spirals down, and then it gives them credit for hitting the target anyway, right? And then we could still play a little voice in the background that's like, oh, don't worry, they're very well armored. Whatever. it'll get back up in a minute, and then maybe it does. Maybe it kind of like comes back up or whatever. I don't know. We can keep it really simple to start with, but I think it'd be probably more fun for the player that if they hit the drone, it crashes. I think that sounds more fun. So I think that might be what I do. um, but if we have this drone and they have to hit it a bunch of times, yeah. Um, to keep the conveyor going, then then it could just come back. They hit it and then it comes back in a minute or whatever. Easy enough. And then we can just have some acorns, because acorns are the pickup, kind of like Banjo-Kazooie. Music notes or whatever, so whatever. There could be, I don't know, a big pile of acorns like over here. And then maybe a button, a tutorial button that kind of explains, like, so say tutorial acorns equals like percent explored bonus or whatever. And then we could even have one kind of hiding sneakily. So if we have a couple bushes like along the path here, so like bush, 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 kind of like we do in the other one, then we can have an acorn like hiding behind that bush, right? To kind of just prove the point, you know? And then maybe there can be like a kind of like almost like Spyro, you know, where like you're hunting for the gems. That's maybe a better analogy than the Banjo-Kazooie acorns, bird, music notes, whatever. It could be like a little alcove here with a. That's gonna zoom. I don't want to do that. There we go. The acorn hidden, kind of a little nook in the rock. I don't know. It doesn't have to be anything super fancy, but this is uphill, so we want a steep enough grade. So steep. Can't walk. Cool. And I should spend a little less time scribbling and more time making 3D actual levels so we can actually play this. So let's just about finish up, other than to say I think we want to have the exit be like right here. So say right. And usually to finish the level you have to hit an exit target. So let's say the exit target is on the lighthouse. So like way up here, have there be an exit target, and then we can have a tutorial about that. That's a good point, because this is going to be the first time they see that. No, surely not. I have a day job doing corporate video hosting. Yeah. It was a startup, actually, that my some college friends and I did, and it went well, and we got acquired a year or two ago. So now we're no longer a startup. Now we're very corporate, and we sell video hosting services to people. But it can be a little stressful sometimes because there's some like uh, frontline tech support servers break, that sort of thing. But mostly I like it. But thanks for asking. Yeah. How about you? What sort of stuff do you do? Let's see. So I hit that target, and we'll have a tutorial right here. Exit target. Cool. And maybe this would be kind of fun. What if there's kind of like a sneaky little path to get back behind here? Web development, nice. Yeah, there's a plenty of that in the in what we do too. So we probably do some similar stuff. Our yeah, it there there's ups and downs for sure. Our original product we wrote in PHP, which is now not my favorite. Message redacted. I wonder. I I like obscenity, so I'm not. I wonder if I can tell YouTube to not redact things. I wonder why it redacted that. Uh, anyway, what if we just like hide an acorn around the corner here or something, just like in the back? Oops, that's not yellow. Like that. Have a couple. They're small. You have a few over here. We could have a few. Maybe go over these bridges over here, and there's a few over here. What other? Because this is a pretty simple level so far. We've got one moving target. We've got one moving platform. It's kind of the same as my other level right now. We've got one moving platform, one moving target. Great, fun. Okay. What? And I mean, that's fine. But, yeah, and that's not bad. I don't want to get too, I don't want to get too ambitious with this. But, like, what if this is kind of a bonus area? Like, you don't have to go over here, but if you do, you get to do something kind of cool, like an animation plays or something. Yeah, and I mean, the acorns are kind of like the bonus pickups. Like, you don't need to get them to complete the level, but they're like extra credit for doing more exploring, so that's cool. But what if there's like kind of a jumping challenge to get to these? So what if there's no this? I like this idea. This is a good idea. What if there's no bridges? There's no bridges, but you kind of have to parkour over to them, right? Like we make kind of a difficult jumping path to get to them. So like, I don't know, you have to like jump on some floating stones to get over there. Like jump. Yeah, yeah. Ah. I don't know. Doesn't look very jump challengey, but yeah, we'll figure that out. Something kind of like that. And maybe even like there's a cool button over here that like fires the cannons. Like it's absolutely for no, like, you don't need to do it to complete the level, but if you hit a button over here, it shoots those cannons, right? Just for fun. Oh, I guess I'm saying blue is interactive, huh? And yeah, cool, perfect. I like it. Let's build it. Enough of that. Enough drawing. I'll save that in my folder. Level. So I'm calling this airfield tutorial. I might change the name. I don't know if GIMP lets me rename it, which that's kind of silly. I think it might. My guess would be it actually does, but oops. Ah. There we go. I'm clicking just over what I want to click on. Let's see. We want to go to here. There we go. That's the right one. Level. What if we call it Spruce Airfield or something? I don't know. We can come up with a better name sometime, but I like that fine. And we'll just say not a penis. .png. Perfect. Alright. So now let's make a model. So let's go. Yeah, that was one other thing I wanted to say super quick, is if I get into Godot. Oh, hit a hidden target, it lowers the bridge. Oh, sorry, I missed that message. Yeah. 100%. And what I'll kind of have to think up is, right now, you need to hit all of the targets to finish the level. So if I want kind of like a bonus area that you don't have to go to, I'll have to think of how to like represent a target that you don't need to hit to complete the level, right? If that kind of makes sense. Like it could be like a wooden target instead of a steel plate, and if you hit it, it breaks and opens the bridge, and then it doesn't count as like one of the completion targets. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. There we go. But so this is silly, but these are kind of fun to jump on, right? Because it's not an easy jump. Like, I just missed that one. It is possible. You have to like time the jump properly. Ah, nearly. There it is. Hey, see, I made it. Those ones are easy. Like, here we got an acorn hidden around here. And all this. So, like, that's the kind of idea. Oh, yeah, I really like the acorns that are hidden in the sky, because you can shoot them down. That, I think, is marvelous. So we'll definitely have to do some of those. Because then you can... oh, shoot. If I want to go out there to get it, I have to actually shoot the targets. That's okay. this one is really hard. Ah! I shouldn't have tried that. Click. Okay, come back here, you rascal. Nope. Ah, there it is. Same with this one. Boop. That's probably one of my favorite things. So we can have some of those. Well, we don't have to put it all on a drawing. I think I like the idea. So and this one actually has a hidden tunnel under it that I modeled. I haven't done anything with it, but we could put some acorns under it. I should make this a little bit less. There's no way anyone's ever actually going to find this, but it's kind of an Easter egg, I guess. That's okay. But if we go off the, there it is. If we go off the side of the island, there's a secret platform right there that we can jump off of. Yeet! There you go. We're under the island. And there's a tunnel. So we could do things like that. Like, that would be pretty fun. Like, very Easter eggy things. But anyway, okay, let's make a thing. So, get rid of this one. I don't like this one. I might start, though, with my ground model for the windmill, this guy, just to kind of remind myself of the scale. So that's nice. So what if we just hide this? Let's save this as. And let's go up to Spruce Airfield, and we'll call this ground. I like that, and we're going to delete this one. No, just kidding. We'll keep it for a second, but we'll call this ground. I know it looks like I can't type, but I switch back and forth between Dvorak, so I have an excuse. There we go. Alright, let's add a cube at the middle. 3D cursor, I'm sure there's a shortcut for this, but nice, no worries, yeah, totally. Have a good night there. Hopefully I will have a model of this before too long. Thanks for saying hi, for sure. Have a good rest of your night. Cube. Oh, that's tiny. Tiny little baby cube. I'm not sure I actually even added a cube. Did I? Oh yeah, there it is. Thanks for the vote of confidence. Hopefully it's not overhyped. Nothing super fancy, but gotta make some crappy games before you make good games, right? You just gotta get your hands dirty. So, all right, there it is. So we do have a cube, and we want to have it bigger than that. But yeah, no, thanks for saying. Thanks for saying. Thanks for saying. So let's go about 200 meters. Yeah, that's about the right size. It's a little too big, but that's fine. That's a good starting point. So, let's. Oh no, hold on. I added that cube in edit mode. That's not what I wanted to do. Yeah. Get out of edit mode. Now let's add a cube. There we go. Okay. So this is reference ground. I suppose I shouldn't put a space there. And this is ground. Sweet. So, ground. And let's see. Now we can get in here and edit it. So let's scale Z. Wrong keyboard, scale Z. And let's have it something like this to start with, and then we're gonna extrude the base out later. But we'll start with something like about that size, or even thinner, like that. Okay, great. And it doesn't matter the fact that it's overlapping or it's a little bit off. That's actually probably good. So let's go on the top, and let's make this kind of the main thrust of the island. So let's do this kind of a thing. Maybe we should sharpen out this end so it looks a little bit less like a dick. So I like that idea. But we will throw a mountain in the middle. I think that's smart. So let's just go ahead and do it. So I'm thinking about a little bit bigger than what we have here, but not like a ton bigger. And we're just going to throw some loop cuts in here. Like a bunch of them. And let's hide our reference just so we're not looking at a ton of stuff all at once. And let's look at vertices, and let's just move some stuff around and get a very basic shape. So we want this guy to be oblong, so do kind of like this, and then we want the middle, and then we want it to kind of curve and get narrower. Right, so I don't necessarily want to... kind of like a banana island. That's kind of what we're going for. Yeah. We do want it to get pretty skinny, and maybe even like hook around, kind of like a Treasure Planet looking thing, you know? So like, what if we scale this on Y for just a second, flatten that out, and then just extrude that, and then scale that on X, and then just rotate that and kind of get it going in this kind of a shape. Right, and we can totally fiddle around with this as we go. But let's just kind of give it a spin. Kind of a croissant kind of thing. And I'm going to shrink this all up, but we're just going to get these bits closer to each other. Yeah, something like that. And to show the other one in kind of scale, so it's bigger. It's probably too much bigger, so let's kind of bring it in a little bit, because this is a pretty big map. Like, it's bigger than we ever walk in. Like, you see the walking path. So let's actually make it quite a bit smaller. Like that's probably about the right size. And then we can scale it vertically to make it a little thicker like that. Right. So now, I think that's about right to kind of be... Here, let's hide this one. That's a very first blush kind of... We're thinking kind of like a Pirate Cove kind of situation. You could make the case that this should stretch a little further. Right? So... And that this should pull in a little further, kind of like that, and I like that. I think that's not unfounded. Maybe this should stay thicker a little longer, something kind of like that. Yeah, I don't hate that. So if we look at our drawing, now it stayed thicker and then it narrowed out. This is very narrow towards the end, so yeah, you could make the case that we could even... It doesn't look very islandy. Yeah, maybe it does. I don't know. Let's leave it like that, and then we can fiddle around with it more later if we want. We're not trying to dial this in perfectly. Just... And we don't want to spend a million years on this, right? We can throw something together and call it good enough, and that's really important. Otherwise, we'll do nothing but just tweak this until the cows come home, and that's not the play. That is not the play. So let's make this the lighthouse kind of island. So let's really pull this up to make a nice steep mountain kind of situation, and then let's kind of because the thought is we're gonna have a like a gondola going over here, so let's have like a steeper part, like a ridge almost over on this side, you know, and then the lighthouse that we're gonna have a cutout in the hill right over there. For the lighthouse, let's put another loop cut. Do we have a key button for that? Maybe we do. Loop cut right there. And let's have the tall part of the mountain be right over this way. Maybe we just first of all, we just move this up. Then we could extrude it. I don't know if I want to extrude it. I want it to stay smooth. If anything, I could subdivide this more, right? We could put more cuts in this. Yeah. Probably want that. we can do more interesting things with it, like tighten that up and give it kind of like a cliff kind of situation over there, kind of like that. And then we can pull this up a little bit more. Could even make this steeper. Or not. Could make it less steep. That's not the direction I wanted to move that thing in. There we go. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted. Okay. Because then I'm thinking somewhere in here we're gonna make a little cutout, and that's where the airfield will be. Yeah, so I kind of want a mountain face, like a side of the mountain that's kind of just chilling over here. If we slide this, such a nice feature. The GG key. I wish, GG bro, I wish I had known about the GG button a long time ago, because that's super handy actually. Okay. So that's cool, and we can add a little bit of topographical interest to this by like making this go up and move around and stuff. Right. Now, what I did before is my like paths and everything were just literally like polygons on the surface, and I might continue that because that just it just keeps it really simple. We're just gonna have to add a lot more detail to this. If we want those, we're gonna need to add a lot of geometry down in here, so we'll have to figure out how to do that. And we can fudge it a little bit. We can use some of the geometry that we already have and just kind of slide it around and make the shapes that we want, but at the same time, this is like a whatever 50 polygon model right now, right? Whatever it is. We're not too sweat about yeah, we're 100 faces right now. Like we're not hurting for detail. Right. If we need to optimize this, we sure can, but I have an old computer and all these maps run super fine, so I think that is not going to be our problem, like, for a long time. Yeah. Okay, let's scale these in the Y direction. Kind of. Yeah, that's fine, because then that's where it connects back out to the rest of the thing. Cool. And If we really wanted, we can go oops, that's not the polygon I wanted to select. There we go. This would be much easier if I was solid. There we go. Great. Alright. And let's add a material slot here. Boom. Assign. And then Shift I, right, to invert. Control I. Alright. Add a material slot. Grass. Assign. Okay. Oh yeah. That's kind of what I'm thinking. We can kind of play that by ear as well, but we could add a stone color too, but I think that works okay. We could add a modifier here for shade smooth or not, but I think we want to shade it smooth. So edge split. There we go. Meh, kind of. Right. Now, my reference one, it actually is dirt all the way around the edges. That's a good point. Right. Do a loop select here. No, not like that. No, not like that. I was just curious if it would work, but with that many selected, but definitely that's not quite how it works, and that's okay. Yeah, I kind of like that. I think I kind of wanted to take this back to green. I don't think I like the it makes sense, kind of, that it's like a, but I just think it looks nicer like this, so that's fine. Yeah, sweet. Okay, and this is pretty big. So now, oh, that's right. I want there to be like a gun embankment over here. We can also, well, it could be built in like this, you know? Like there could be turrets in here. I'm hitting extrude. Yeah, there we go. What I really should do is just use the inset faces tool. There we go. Perfect. And then Righto. And then yeah, that's pretty sick. And then we can put some cannons in there. Hell yeah. Okay, I like that. I like that. And remember, this is really big. This is really quite big. You know? Like, these were the paths on our other one. See that? Those are the whole paths. So, we don't want to oversize this, and we may have already oversized it, but right. So now what we're going to want to do is kind of create our actual like path areas and stuff. So actually start to like, and the paths can be we can create them with like objects after the fact too. Right, and we're going to want to add our little like extra doodads here. Like, I wanted a little side slice of an island over there, a little island over here. And I do like that idea. Yeah, so we'll figure it out. We had marked it off to have like a walkable area back here, and then a walkable area over here, and a walking path kind of defined over this way with like a bit of a peak in the middle. So first of all, we kind of have to get a scale of all this, right? This is kind of the order of scale that we're dealing with here, right? This is a lot of space that we're dealing with. So the nice thing here is we can add some extra detail wherever we need it, right? Is that... That's not actually cutting anything, is it? That's kind of weird. Am I tripping? Like that works, but then can I subdivide this one? I can, sure. Can I subdivide this one? No. Oh, probably because it's not a quad. It probably has to be quads to subdivide it. Yeah? Which is fine. It just means we need to add a lot of detail on the bottom of the thing where we don't need it. Which we could come back in and clean that up later. Or we just leave it, right? Like, this would keep everything as quads, right? We could just add a bunch of extra cuts, kind of like this, you know? And that's all well and good, but before we do that, we want to make sure... Well, what if we do just do that? Right? Because you kind of see the scale of, like, this area here, like, as kind of the starting area. So same thing here. What if we kind of build up the starting area here? As kind of a little round spot. Now, still, our scale here might be way off. We can always shrink the whole thing, right? We're not attached to this particular scale. We can shrink it without too much trouble. Right? So just like that, we can create a little pad of land, and we could give it a slot of path and assign it. And just like that, we have a little path area, but you can see it's on a hill. So let's actually kind of like, and this is going to be a good point actually, what if we scale this in the Z, right? Then we kind of raise it up to give it a little bit of a plateau there, you know? This may be way too big, but we're going to try it. Now, what if we have the path, actually I was thinking of having the path come out of there, but what if we don't do that? What if we have the path actually come out here, right? Oops. I'm bumping stuff. I don't know how we're going to branch this. I have no idea how we're going to branch this. But yeah, I was thinking to have like a kind of a circular path that went in a circle, you know, as circular paths tend to do. So here, let's assign those. Path. Oops. Path assign. But we're going to have to do something here to make that transition. And we could just do something as simple as this, right? Where we go assign that as path, and then we just kind of slide some stuff to make it feel a little bit less blocky, right? Right. That is that is not fantastic, but it's roughly correct. All right. Right. Now we could literally hit the bevel button here, I think, but I don't think that's what we want to actually do. First of all, it doesn't work. Okay, I lied. But yeah, we could do something like that. All right. So now we want there to be some reason they can't actually go up here, and it could just be that it's too steep. That could be literally it, right? We could take everything well, or an easy answer is, we could put a loop cut right here. And then we could deselect everything down here. See just how we get so much extra geometry on the bottom and we don't need it? So maybe we can clean that up somehow. But we just do this. And then that's why then we need the... And that's going to be huge. Right? If you look at the scales we're dealing with here, right? Right. And then the thinking would be you would take some of this. Maybe this guy we give a little slide to. And with like these guys, we kind of alcove it off a little bit here. And then we just kind of make this a little, it doesn't have to be huge. Like that is so oversized. That's such a big mountain. Like just by me doing that, like if you look at the sizes we're dealing with here, like that's ginormous. Right? And then, you know, kind of make it a little bit bigger, but not like ridiculously bigger, you know? Oh yeah. I mean, we could put one up there, and they would just have to shoot it down. That'd be pretty chill. Yeah. I kind of like that. Right, now also, that's not very secret. So if we... right. You're going to see that still walking around, right? So what if we... kind of really kind of tuck that little corner in there so you could be walking around here and you wouldn't even notice, right? No, you're probably still going to see it. Like, this is all way too big. We're just going to have to scale it down first of all. But, yeah, I'm liking the idea. Yeah, totally. Even switch that to dirt, you know? Oh, that looks actually pretty sick. I like that. Hell yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool, actually. Although, I almost preferred it looking a little bit narrower. Like that looks pretty cool. It looks like a fault line or something. Yeah. Although, like, I wonder if we could make it look a little bit less, like, regular. like these could kind of almost wrap around the side a little bit, you know? Yeah, that looks kind of cool. Right, so I mean, what if we take all of this and we just scale it down just a bit? So it's more on like the order of, well, what about there? Sure. And what if we took like this and we kind of shrunk it? You know? So it's like not this huge old thing. And what if it's a little off to the side? You know, like what if it's over here a little bit? Yeah, maybe. Alright, I think it's at the point where we should play it. So let's take a break. I like where this is going. It's looking cool. It surely isn't perfect, but also know that like this view is not what the players are going to see. The players are going to be like on the ground, right? Playing the map. So cool. Let's take a break. I'm I'm liking that. Let's keep working on it tomorrow. Rock on. We got I I like having tangible stuff accomplished, so I like it. That counts. Thanks, Captain Furball, for hanging out and checking it out, and anyone else who hopped in and watched after the fact. And yeah, we'll keep working on it this weekend. Cheers.